My mother had a whole other family. I found out at her funeral. I, 28F, buried my mom 3 months ago. She died suddenly from a heart attack. It shattered me. She was my best friend, my rock, the one person who always had my back. My dad died when I was a baby, and she raised me on her own. At least, that's what I thought. At the funeral, a woman showed up with 2 teenage boys. They stood in the back, didn't speak to anyone. I noticed them because they were crying, like really crying. And one of the boys looked a little like me. After the burial, I approached the woman and asked if she knew my mom. Her face changed. She asked me, "You're Lily, right?" That shook me. I asked her how she knew my name. She paused and said, "I think we need to talk." That talk turned my entire life upside down. Long story short, my mom had another family. She was with this woman, Sophie, for over 15 years. They lived in another city, about 2 hours away. The boys were her kids. My mom's kids. My half-brothers. All this time, I thought she was working late or traveling for her job. Turns out, she had a double life. I didn't believe it at first. But Sophie showed me pictures. Videos. Texts. Birthday cards. A literal whole life. My mom would stay with them 3 days a week and commute. She told Sophie I was her niece, a girl she was helping raise after a tragedy. I couldn't breathe. I still can't process it. I confronted some of my mom's friends. A few knew. They thought I knew, too. Others were just as shocked. I found emails, a second phone, and bank accounts she never told me about. I feel like I don't know who she was. Like I'm grieving someone I never really knew. But here's the most confusing part, she was a good mom to me. Supportive, kind, loving. She never once made me feel neglected. She showed up to every dance recital, every graduation. I was her only focus, or so I thought. Now I'm stuck. I don't know who I am anymore. I feel betrayed, yet I miss her more than anything. I want to hate her, but I can't. I still love her. Sophie and I talk sometimes. She's not angry. Just tired. She said my mom loved both of us. But I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how someone can live like that and still say it was love. I haven't told most of my friends. I don't know how to explain it without sounding crazy. I just needed to get this off my chest. I met my half-brothers for the first time. It didn't go how I expected. After my last post, I spent 2 weeks avoiding everyone, especially Sophie. I ignored her texts and calls. I wasn't ready. But the silence became unbearable. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the boys, my half-brothers. I had brothers. That word felt alien on my tongue. I grew up alone. I used to wish I had a sibling. And now I do, but I only found out because our mother died. So, last week, I finally texted Sophie back and asked if we could meet. Just us. She agreed. We met at a small coffee shop halfway between our cities. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept since the funeral. We sat in silence for a bit, then she pushed a photo toward me. It was a picture of my mom, holding one of the boys when he was a baby. She looked the same. Happy. Motherly. That wrecked me. I started crying right there in the coffee shop, and so did Sophie. She told me everything. They met 17 years ago. She was the one who pursued my mom. My mom resisted, said she already had a daughter, a life, but eventually gave in. Sophie said they were in love. That she was the one who insisted on keeping everything secret, for my sake. She said my mom didn't want to lie, but she didn't want to lose either family. She even showed me a letter, my mom wrote me a letter before she died. She hadn't sent it yet. I'm still not ready to open it. Then Sophie asked if I wanted to meet the boys. I said yes. I don't know why. Maybe curiosity. Maybe some sick need for closure. Maybe I thought I'd find something of me in them. We met in a park that weekend. They were polite. One 17, the other 15. The older one, Isaac, barely looked at me. The younger one, Caleb, actually smiled. It was awkward. Painful. But they knew about me. They had always known. My mom told them I was her niece, but they said they figured it out a few years ago. Kids aren't stupid. I asked Isaac what he thought of all this. He just said. You got the real version of her. We got the leftover time. That hit me so hard I couldn't even respond. It made me realize something I didn't want to admit. Maybe I wasn't the main daughter. Maybe I wasn't the only one she loved. Maybe I was just one piece of her double life. I don't know how to move forward. I don't hate the boys. They didn't choose this. Neither did I. But every time I think about my mom now, it's like the memories are poisoned. She was everything to me. And now she's everything I can't explain. I finally opened my mom's letter. I wasn't ready for what it said. I stared at that letter for weeks. Sometimes I kept it under my pillow. Other times, I buried it in a drawer. I couldn't touch it without my hands shaking. It felt like holding a ghost, one last echo of the woman I thought I knew. But last night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was buzzing. All I could think about was Isaac's words, "You got the real version of her." Did I? So around 2 a.m., I got up, turned on the smallest lamp in the house, and opened the envelope. The handwriting was unmistakably hers. Slanted, elegant, neat, just like the birthday card she used to leave on my nightstand every year. My name was at the top. My Lily. If you're reading this, I'm no longer here. And I'm sorry. I didn't want you to find out everything this way. I kept this letter hidden because I didn't know how to tell you the truth. I never wanted to lie to you. But at some point, the lie became the only way to hold everything together. You were never second to anyone. You were my beginning. The reason I fought so hard to be better, to be more. When your father died, I thought I'd never feel anything again. Then you smiled at me for the first time. And everything changed. Years later, when I met Sophie. I didn't expect to love again. I didn't expect more children. But love doesn't come in order. It doesn't follow rules. And I tried, God, I tried, to give you all as much of me as I could. But I know I failed you by keeping this secret. If I had told you the truth, I was afraid you'd see everything else as a lie too. Every bedtime story. Every school pickup. Every hug. And those were real, Lily. They were real. You have brothers. And you don't have to love them. But I hope you meet them with the heart I tried to raise in you. They know about you. I told them you were bright, fierce, kind. I told them they were lucky to have you, even from afar. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more courage. You are, and always have been, my greatest truth. Mom. I sobbed until the sun started rising. I don't know if the letter makes it better or worse. It didn't erase the betrayal, but it reminded me of the love. The genuine love. The version of her that stayed up late helping me study for finals. The one who brought me soup when I had the flu. The one who cheered the loudest at my college graduation. She was that woman, and she was someone else, too. This morning, I texted Sophie. Just 3 words. Thank you. I'm ready. We're meeting again next weekend. This time, just me and the boys. I don't know what will come of it. Maybe we'll never be close. Maybe we'll just sit in silence. But maybe, something can grow out of this mess. Not a clean slate. Not a fairy tale. But something real. My brother told me I don't deserve anything from her. I met with the boys again last Saturday. This time, it was just the three of us, no Sophie, no awkward adults hovering around. We met at a lakeside park with a picnic table under a tree. I brought snacks, tried to break the ice, tried to smile like I wasn't completely falling apart inside. Caleb was warm. Kind. He asked me questions, what I do, what I studied, where I live. He was curious, open. It caught me off guard. I didn't expect him to be so welcoming. But Isaac? He didn't say much. He barely looked at me. He sat with his arms crossed, eyes hard, face unreadable. After about 20 minutes of small talk, I finally asked. Do you want to talk about it? About her? Caleb nodded quietly. Isaac didn't move. He stared at the water and said. Talk about what? The woman who lied to all of us. His voice was sharp, not loud, but it cut deep. I tried to stay calm. She lied to me too, Isaac. I didn't know about any of this either. He scoffed. Yeah, but you got the perfect life, didn't you? One house. One parent. One story. No secrets. That hit me. Harder than I expected. You think that was perfect? I said. I grew up thinking I was her whole world. You don't realize how painful it is to find out you were only half of someone's truth. He finally looked at me. And I wish he hadn't. Because the look in his eyes wasn't just anger. It was grief. Rage. Hurt. You got her name on your birth certificate, he said. You got her insurance. Her car. Her legal everything. We got birthdays where she left early. School plays she missed. Years of excuses. I didn't know what to say. Because, he wasn't wrong. Then he added something that made my blood freeze. And now Sophie told me you might get everything. The house. The savings. Even the life insurance. Because legally, you're the only one she named. My mouth went dry. What? She never made a will, he said. No paperwork. No names. And you're her only legal child. I had no idea. I hadn't even thought about it. Isaac stood up. She left us with nothing. But sure, take the house. Take the bank account. Pretend you're the only one who mattered. Just like she did. He walked away. Caleb stayed sitting. He looked down, voice barely a whisper. She loved you. She really did. But she made a mess. I nodded. Because yeah, she did. A beautiful, tragic, impossible mess. Now I'm left holding a key to a house that was never fully mine. With money I didn't ask for. And two brothers, one who might grow to love me, and one who may never forgive me. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I know one thing. If I keep everything, I'll lose them. If I give it all up, I'll lose part of her. And I'm not sure which loss will hurt more. I found a hidden document in my mom's safe. It changes everything. A few days after the fight with Isaac, I drove to my mom's house alone. I hadn't been back since the funeral. Her scent was still in the walls. Her shoes still by the door. Her reading glasses on the nightstand. I didn't know why I came. Maybe guilt. Maybe closure. Maybe I just wanted to feel close to her one more time. I walked through the house in silence, opening drawers, touching familiar things. Then I remembered something, her old safe. She used to keep documents in it, birth certificates, passports, old photos. It was hidden behind a panel in her bedroom closet. I hadn't opened it in years. But somehow, I remembered the code. My birthday. Inside were the usual papers, my birth certificate, her passport, some old checks. But near the back, in a worn yellow folder, I found something I'd never seen before. A notarized document. Titled, Final Statement of Assets and Wishes, Eleanor M. Ridge. I froze. It wasn't an official will. But it was dated 3 years ago. And it was clear as day. In it, she wrote her intentions, that all her assets, home, savings, life insurance, be split equally between her 3 children. Lily Ridge, me. Isaac Hallow. Caleb Hallow. She even explained why she hadn't made it official. She was afraid. Afraid of legal exposure. Afraid someone would find out before she was ready. But she wrote. If Lily finds this, please know, this is what I wanted. Fairness. Family. Not secrets. Not silence. I sat there for an hour just holding the folder. It wasn't legally binding. But it was her. It was her voice. Her intention. Her regret. I scanned it and printed 3 copies. Then I drove to Sophie's house and asked to speak to the boys. Caleb came down right away. Isaac took longer. He looked wary, arms still crossed, like he was expecting a fight. I handed them the paper. I found this in her safe, I said. It's not a will. But it's what she wanted. I'm going to make it legal. I'm splitting everything 3 ways. Even if I have to pay out of pocket to make it happen. Caleb looked stunned. Isaac stared at the paper for a long time. Then he said, "Why would you do this?" And I told him the truth. Because I want to carry the right part of her legacy. Not the lies. Not the silence. Just the part that tried to love us all. He didn't hug me. Didn't cry. Didn't even say thank you. But for the first time, he didn't look at me like I was the enemy. That was enough. We signed the papers today. Then a stranger knocked on my door. It's done. We went to the lawyer's office this morning, me, Isaac, Caleb, and Sophie. I had the document from the safe, notarized and referenced. We split everything equally, the house, the accounts, the insurance. The lawyer said it was unusual but honorable. Isaac didn't say much, but he signed. That meant more than words. As we walked out, Caleb nudged me and said, "She'd be proud of you, you know." I didn't answer. I didn't trust my voice. Later, we went to lunch together. All 4 of us. It wasn't warm, exactly, but it wasn't cold anymore either. Just, cautious peace. The kind of silence that doesn't hurt. When I got home that evening, the house felt lighter. Like something had finally settled. No more secrets. No more hiding. I thought maybe this was the beginning of healing. And then, at 8:17 p.m., someone knocked on my door. A woman in her late 50s stood there, holding an envelope and a photograph. "Are you Lily Ridge?" she asked. "Yes." "I'm sorry to show up like this," she said, voice shaking. "But I think we need to talk. I knew your mother, a long time ago. And I think we have something in common." She handed me the photo. It was a picture of my mom. Younger. Holding a baby I didn't recognize. Standing next to this woman, smiling, close. On the back of the photo, written in faded ink. Eleanor, 1992, our little secret. That was 5 years before I was born. I stared at the photo, then back at the woman. She looked at me carefully and said, "I think she was in my life the way she was in yours. And I think I have a daughter, who may be your sister." I couldn't breathe. I don't know what's real anymore. I thought we'd reached the end of her story. But apparently, my mother still has more secrets to give. I met the woman from the photo. And now I don't know who my mother really was. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch with that photograph in my lap, staring at my mother's face. Her smile in the photo was unmistakable, young, joyful, in love. She was standing so close to that woman. Arm around her waist. Holding a baby between them. A baby that wasn't me. The woman's name was Monica. She told me they met in the early 90s, when my mom had just lost her parents. She said they were together for about 3 years, secretly. Monica's family didn't know. She said my mom was afraid of being seen, but also desperate for love. They lived together for a time. My mom helped raise Monica's baby girl, Allison, as if she were her own. But something happened. Monica never fully explained, only said my mom left without warning, one day packing a bag and disappearing. That was 1994. I was born in 1997. So, I asked the question I didn't want to ask. Are you saying Allison might be her biological child? Monica hesitated. Then nodded. She told me she'd had a one-night relapse with a man. And when I got pregnant, she said she'd raise the baby with me. We never did a test. But Lily, the timelines match. And Allison has your mother's eyes. She showed me a recent photo. And she was right. Allison did look like her. Like us. I don't know what to do with this. I just made peace with Isaac and Caleb. We finally signed the papers. We closed that chapter. And now, what? I have another sister. A whole other life my mother walked away from before mine even started. I asked Monica if Allison knows. She doesn't. She thinks Eleanor Ridge was just her mother's old roommate. She had no idea the woman in the photo, my mom, might be her mom, too. And now Monica is asking me to help her tell the truth. I said I needed time. Because here's the thing. If Allison is our sister, she was abandoned. Worse. Forgotten. And I don't know how to forgive that. I don't know how to look at my mother's face and not wonder who she would have left next, if she'd had more years. And if I tell Isaac and Caleb, what then? We were just starting to become a family. What if this breaks it all again? I met Allison. And I finally let my mother go. I met Allison yesterday. We agreed to meet at a quiet cafe, just the two of us. She thought it was about some old stories from my mom's past. She had no idea what was coming. She was friendly. Warm. Talkative. And so familiar it made my throat tighten. She had my mom's hands. Her nervous laugh. The same habit of tucking her hair behind her ear when she's thinking. I almost didn't say it. But I had to. I told her everything, gently. I showed her the photo. I told her what Monica believed. What the timeline suggested. What I suspected. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She just stared at the photo for a long time and whispered. I always wondered why no one ever came back for me. That broke me. I said I didn't have answers. Only pieces. And that if she ever wanted a DNA test, I'd take it. But there was no pressure. No obligation. Just truth. Or as close as we could get to it. Before we left, I asked if she wanted to meet the others someday. She said maybe. Not now. I understood. That night, I stood outside my mom's house one last time. I didn't go in. I just looked at the windows, the porch, the place that held 1,000 versions of her. And then I whispered. You tried. You failed. And still. I love you. But I won't carry your secrets anymore. And I walked away. Sometimes family is what's left after the lies fall apart. Not what was planned, but what survives anyway.